Do you dream of fairies and princesses? Then you've come to the right place. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePauli, and today on the show, we honor this year's graduates with a Disney twist. As you all know, high school and college seniors this year aren't having the usual proms and graduation ceremonies due to the pandemic. There have been some unique solutions, like prom-themed nights on ABC, as well as various commencement ceremonies on TV and online, but another tradition seniors will be missing out on is the passing out and signing of yearbooks. And when seniors pick up their yearbooks, one of the first things they do is flip to the superlatives section to see if their classmates voted them for any of the honors. So this week, my friend David from Fresh Baked Disney is joining me as we made our own superlative selections for characters, cast members, rides, and shows at the Disneyland Resort. We'll get to our superlatives lists right after this. If you haven't visited DisneyCoastToCoast.com in a while, you're missing out on a bunch of new content. One of the new additions includes 5 exclusive compilation episodes of Disney Coast to Coast that you won't find in your regular podcast feed. One of those compilation episodes includes Beauty and the Beast from screen to stage to screen. In that episode, I speak with Don Hahn, who produced the original animated feature and executive produced the Disney live-action movie. It's always interesting listening to Don tell stories about his multiple experiences with Beauty and the Beast. I also speak with Bradley Pierce, who is the voice of Chip in the animated film, as well as John Tartaglia, who is one of Broadway's final Lumieres, and Patrick Page, who performed the role of Lumiere in the first national tour of Disney's Beauty and the Beast. It is really amazing to think how much content Disney has made out of this one story, from the animated film to the theme parks and Broadway stage, as well as returning to the big screen for its live-action reimagining. That is just one of the exclusive episodes you can get at DisneyCoastToCoast.com. Once you visit the site, just click on Exclusive in the menu. Once again, that's DisneyCoastToCoast.com and click on Exclusive.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's time for Disney Listicle.
Alrighty, David, we are here to celebrate the Disneyland Resort and our graduates at the same time. We're taking a look at, the superlatives like you used to have in the back of a yearbook. You remember those, right?
I do, yes. Yes, I do.
Well, we are today going to be talking about superlatives of the Disneyland Resort, and we're starting with characters and people superlatives. A little bit later on, we'll get into rides and shows and stuff like that. And these, I will say, all of these superlatives, this list that I sent you, these are, these were not made up by me. These were ones I found online from supposedly real yearbooks. And so we'll just jump right into it. And the first one on our list is biggest flirt. So, Disneyland Resort, DCA, Disneyland, wherever. Who do you think would win the award of biggest flirt?
Well, I had a few nominees here, but I wanted to make sure that I got everybody included. So I wound up landing on Goofy. I feel like Goofy is, he's his aw shucks thing is
it's all an act.
His game. It's his game, yeah.
I love it. Goofy's game is the aw shucks personality. That's funny.
Yeah.
I like that. I went with Peter Quill / Star-Lord.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I feel like he's that suave flirt, like that, everybody's got a crush on. So even men have man crushes on Peter Quill, even if they're straight. Like, it's just, he's the flirt, I would say. I'm curious. You said you had a few nominees. Who were some of the others you were thinking of there?
Well, actually, Mad Hatter was one that I had. Because
yeah.
Because he kind of likes to mix it up with the guests there in the park, and he can get a little, flirty with them. I guess I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, that was one of my nominees.
And he is usually with Alice, I will say. So
yeah,
he's got some good game there if he's got Alice following him, I'd say.
Yeah.
Then we go on to class clown. Who would you say was the class clown?
Well, one of the reasons why I didn't pick Hatter for that is because I picked him for this. Mad Hatter is my class clown.
That's a good choice. He's very, what I like about him? He's one of those characters in the parks that can just wander and doesn't have a handler.
No, he does not need a handler. Nope.
No, he is, not only a class clown, but kind of, is abrasive the right word? I don't know. He's like, you don't want to get in his way. He's a little bit like, oh no, what will he do?
He can take you down. He'll take you down if he senses weakness.
Yeah. So that's a good choice, Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
I went with Roger Rabbit.
That's what my wife wanted me to go with, but I wound up with Hatter.
Oh, I love that you guys had a conversation about this.
Oh, yeah. No, she helped me a lot on this. She did.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, Roger Rabbit, I mean, he comes from Toontown, right? Constantly pulling pranks. I can definitely picture Roger Rabbit, if in a school setting, never sitting still.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting in the back of the classroom, spitballs on the chalkboard. They don't even use chalkboards anymore. That just aged me a lot. Right? Isn't it all dry erase?
Right?
It's either dry erase or digital at this point. I don't think anybody uses chalk anymore. Now, this was an important one, especially to the girls in school. Best dressed.
Well, boy, did I just okay, so I didn't
Did you pick a guy?
Dudes only.
No, that's cool.
I picked a guy, yeah.
Hey, I'm all for it. Guys can be best dressed as well.
I absolutely love Bert's style. I want to dress like Bert every day.
Bert from Mary Poppins?
Mary Poppins Bert, yeah.
Not gonna lie, I did end up going with a female because she's divine the way she dresses, but there was a part of me that wanted to go with Newsboy Mickey. Like you meet on Buena Vista Street.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
We kind of had that similar dapper style in mind, I guess, when we were thinking about that. I did ultimately go with Elsa because that dress, come on.
Yeah.
That dress is,
no, you're right.
It's pretty epic. So we got the duo there. If we had a male and a female, we'd have Bert and Elsa. An unlikely combination, but whatever.
Yeah.
Best dressed. Oh, best dancer. I got one for this, but I want to hear yours first.
Well, I went a little what do you want to call it? Out of the box on this one. I went with Small World, the hula dancers in the Hawaiian scene.
Nice. I like that very much. This is going to make me sound so stupid, but what the heck? I'll tell the story. Do you remember back in the day, like, this was a thing in the 90s where they had, like, dancing Coke cans, and do you remember these things? They were like...
That sounds like an Eisner thing.
No, this wasn't a Disney thing. This was, like, just, like, in a pop culture sense. They had, like, dancing flowers and then, like, dancing soda cans. Like, this was...
Kind of like the Groot tree?
Yes.
Thing? Like, where they would,
kind of like that. And I dressed one up as one of the hula girl dancers from It's a Small World because I just wanted animatronic figures in my home. And so I didn't know how to build animatronics. So I was like, let me take a robotic toy, my dancing Coke can, and I just remember making it look like one of the Small World hula dancers. And
that's great.
And then it did its thing. That's so nerdy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. But a good choice. The hula dancers in It's a Small World. I would agree. Good dancers. But I got to ask, did you have a chance before the world went insane to go see Magic Happens?
I did one time, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was there opening day.
Me as well.
That's it.
And I will say that Merlin gets it for me. Was Merlin amazing?
Merlin's moves in Magic Happens are fantastic.
Merlin's moves in Magic Happens are phenomenal, but I keep saying this. I've said this several times on the show now. I need to go back and watch the original source film again because I just don't remember. He was wacky, but I don't remember.
I saw it recently. He's an awkward mover, but they weren't dance moves. He's just all gangly and all arms and legs. So I think that's what our performer in Magic Happens is just sort of going for it with those, turning those arms and leg moves into dance moves.
Yeah, it was a choice. It was a solid choice, and it's still one of the most memorable things. I just can't stop raving about the fact that there is a Sword in the Stone float in a 21st century Disneyland parade, and then to have Merlin rocking out on top of that is just unbelievable.
Yeah, he stole the show.
He totally did steal the show. It's amazing. I'm actually gonna jump ahead a bit here just because it's a kind of related one. Because, believe it or not, this was supposedly in somebody's yearbook. Most likely to dance in a Beyonce music video, which I just thought was a hilarious superlative to have in your yearbook.
Yeah.
But in any case, who do you think would be the most likely to dance in a Beyonce music video?
Well, this one is per Liz, my wife, but once she said it, I agreed 100%, and it's Tinkerbell.
Oh, I could see that. That sassy girl. Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can actually visualize Tinkerbell dancing to Put a Ring on It right now. Like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see that. The reason I wanted to do this one next is because I was super uncreative with this. And I said Merlin again. Like, basically anything dance-related is going to be Merlin for me.
It works, yeah.
Like, he was amazing. And once again, I would just like to reiterate that these came from real yearbooks. Alrighty. We weren't that cool back when I was in high school, I guess. Biggest prankster.
This one's easy. That's Chippendale for me.
Oh, those are a great choice. Mine came fairly quickly as well. I think obvious as well. Stitch, I would say.
Yeah.
But Chippendale, Chippendale are such interesting characters because if you go back and watch some of their shorts, like, not only are they pranksters, they're kind of like mean-spirited pranksters back in some of the older stuff. These days, they're very playful pranksters.
Well, they still prank each other, especially in the parks.
It is really fun to see the characters get into the parks, and they did definitely play around, and they like to hide behind poles, I noticed, and like poke their heads out, and they're always doing something fun, and that would be a fun character to play. I feel like to be a friend with Chippendale. I would say Stitch, Chippendale, solid choices for biggest prankster. Now I'm very curious who you got here. The most affectionate.
I'm going to go with man's best friend, Pluto.
Pluto is the most affectionate. That's an interesting way of going about it. That makes sense, because you're right, man's best friend. He's obviously affectionate toward his owner, Mickey. Pluto gets the shaft these days when it comes to the Fab Five stuff. When they can him and bring in Daisy instead, it really upsets me. Not only is he affectionate, he needs affection as well, I would say. Yeah. So I'm glad you gave that to him. I went with Minnie Mouse. I mean...
Oh, well, of course. Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that.
I feel like she's always blowing kisses. I feel like she's like always super sweet whenever you see her. And I don't know, most affectionate in my book.
Good pick.
I am very, very, very proud of my answer for this next one. Most spirited. Who would you say?
I had to think about this one for a little while, but Liz and I, we wound up with Flick from
Flick
Life.
from A Bug's Life. Yeah, I could see that.
Because he's very rah-rah, we can do it, he's team spirit kind of guy.
I gotta go back and see that movie again. I have not seen that movie in a really long time, and I honestly couldn't even tell you what it's about. So
it is kind of the stepchild of Pixar films.
Well, it was the second film, right?
It was the second one, yes.
Yeah. So and then I think the third was Toy Story 2, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes.
So it was bookended by these two mega hits, super memorable characters. And I know that there are super passionate Bugs Life fans out there. I will say, whenever I leave a comment about a Bugs Land or something, if I'll post like on Instagram a kind of throwback Thursday to a Bugs Land or whatever. There is somebody who always, no matter what I say about a Bugs Land, leaves this note in this link that's like, please help save Flick and get him to a...
I have...
You've seen
I've
this?
Seen that same thing, yes.
This person
petition.
wants us to sign a petition to get Flick as a meet and greet in Pixar Pier, which I'm not against. It makes sense. It's a Pixar character. I'm fine with it.
It was a fun meet. I liked meeting Flick.
Yeah, I remember him more as part of the Pixar Play Parade at Disney California Adventure than every once in a while I'd see him.
Yeah, he was
around.
pretty rare. It was pretty rare to see him, but when he did meet, it was a good looking character in terms of, a walk around character. I liked it.
Yeah, so tell me, have you been nice enough to sign that petition?
No, I don't think I have.
I have not either. But you can count on it. Anytime you post anything.
I generally don't. I don't do those sorts of things typically. It's
yeah.
I don't know. It's not my thing.
I gotcha. So most spirited flick I like, but like I said, I got to go back and see that movie. But I can totally see it. Even just his performance in It's Tough to Be a Bug. He was always like, always looking on the positive side of things, seeing in a spirited way. I get that. Now, I have a runner-up here, and I'm going to start with the runner-up because my number one choice, I think, is a phenomenal choice. But I had to do a runner-up here because I don't have Mickey Mouse anywhere else on my list. And I feel like...
there's a lot of places to put him.
Yeah, but I feel like to have a superlative list for the Disneyland Resort and not have Mickey somewhere is blasphemy. So I'm putting Mickey there, but he's not really my number one choice. My number one choice is the American Sign Language interpreters at any show at the Disneyland Resort.
They do go for it, don't they?
Are these people not the hidden gems?
Yeah.
They're amazing.
I find myself watching them instead of the show.
Absolutely. Like, not gonna lie, I have definitely looked at the schedule and been like, oh, an ASL show. Let's go to that one. Mickey and the Magical Map is a really...
Magical Map, yeah.
That is a fantastic one to watch with the American Sign Language interpreters.
Yep.
I love them. And Spirited, I think, is the best way to describe them. Have you caught... What other shows have you seen them at? I think I've seen them at like Five and Dime.
I've seen them for Jedi. Jedi Training Academy.
I don't think I've seen that.
But that's, not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
So, and actually, I can't remember anything recently.
I think I saw them. I've seen them at Five and Dime and maybe the Red Car Trolley Newsboys.
Yeah, Five and Dime. I have seen them at Five and Dime. Yes.
Yeah, but they're amazing, and I say that with all sincerity in the world. Like they're.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
they're amazing and spirited. In fact, I would say most spirited. Okay, so this next one: biggest drama king or queen. Mm-hmm. Who do you say?
Well, I got Kylo Ren. He's as emo as they get.
Yes. When he throws his temper tantrums with that lightsaber and just smashes everything.
The Jedi Training Academy tantrum is legendary.
I would... Yes, that is a fantastic choice. I love that. Mine is also, I feel, fairly comical, and I'll know by your reaction if you've encountered the specific one I'm talking about. But Dr. Facilier?
As a drama king? Well, sure, yeah, I get that.
Have you seen, like, the one very often seen in New Orleans Square at Disneyland? There is.
You mean when he's doing a meet and greet?
No, he's usually just hanging out. Like, I'll see him, like, leaning up against walls in New Orleans Square.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just, like, chilling.
Yeah, he'll just, like, snipe at guests as they go by kind of thing.
Oh, sassy and dramatic.
Yes, he is very sassy, yeah.
Oh, my God, I would say. I would give him drama king and queen. Oh, my gosh. Unbelievable. I think Kylo Ren would probably kick his butt, though. I like Kylo Ren. I think that's a very, very solid choice. I like that a lot. Okay. This one's interesting. The best person to share a deserted island with. Once again, came from a real yearbook. The best person to share a deserted island with.
Well, I went with the approach that I want to get off that deserted island, so I went with Jack Sparrow.
Oh, very smart. I was not that smart. That is a good choice. Because, he gets off of them in the films at some point.
Always,
right?
Yeah, every time.
Yeah, that's a solid choice. I went with somebody that I was like, you know what? Okay, we're going to be on a deserted island. We're eventually going to get sick to death of each other, but let me at least have some fun for a little while. And who could I have a really solid Disney discussion with that could maybe inform me of some stuff and definitely at least have some fun? And so I went with a VIP tour guide or a plaid.
There you go. That's awesome. That's a solid choice.
Yeah, I think they'd be fun, right? They'd have some, let's face it, like it would depend on the plaid that I choose, but hopefully I could, line them up, ask them some questions, be like, all right, you're the one that's coming with me. But Jack Sparrow, that's probably smarter. Maybe you could be on one side of the island with Jack Sparrow, and I'll be on the other side with the tour guide. And
We'll be drinking the rum.
you guys be drinking the rum. We'll be talking Disney. And then as you're escaping, maybe you'll see us and come help us. I don't know.
There you go.
Depends on what Jack Sparrow has to do after. We'll see. Okay. Oh, this one was very obvious to me. Most likely to win an Olympic medal.
Obvious. Well, I'm curious. What's okay? I went with Merida.
Oh God. Ugh. Ugh. Do you know that I hate her? Do you know?
No, I did not know that.
Oh, I despise it. My least favorite Disney character of all time.
I enjoy her character.
Do
a lot.
you really? Okay, let's talk about this for a second. What do you like about her?
She represents, I guess the type of. I'm all for empowerment and all that, and being your own person and following your own path, and that's what Merida does. She doesn't want to live by other people's guidance. She wants to do her thing, and if she wants to shoot an arrow, she's going to shoot an arrow, and I admire that.
But she is a whiny brat.
Yeah, they all are.
Oh goodness! Did you happen to see on Disney Plus? Did you see the Pixar in real life with the?
No, I haven't.
They did a Brave one, and a girl who looked like Meredith showed up at an archery range, and basically they were like, "What are you doing here?" And then she was amazing at what she did, of course, and it was pretty cute. But okay, Meredith, I see where you're going. I think it's a solid choice. I don't need to see her anywhere else, especially not at the Olympics.
I'm sorry to disappoint you.
That's okay. It's okay. No, it's a solid choice. I accept that answer. I like it. I went with anybody from the Incredibles family, right?
Well, they wouldn't compete though.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right. I see. Because you're saying because they wouldn't want to show their powers. Isn't there?
They might win a bronze. They're allowed to win a bronze, and that's it.
Oh man,
you just third place, but that's
I thought I had a good answer, and you just shot it down.
I'm sorry.
So wait a sec. Not only did you shoot mine down, but now you're like, so Merida's a better choice. So my answer was shot down, and my least favorite character you're saying is better choice. What are we gonna do here?
We're all different. We're all different, Jeff.
I've lost control of the show. Unbelievable. It's a solid point, but I mean, let's just say if they could win. If they wanted to win an Olympic medal, they could do it very, very easily.
Dash would be all over it.
Yes, exactly. All right, well, let's see who would be the most likely to win the lottery and then lose the ticket.
I think that can only happen to Donald Duck.
He was almost the one I thought of Donald. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. I didn't think of Donald. I thought of Goofy. I was like, he could do it.
Yeah, he would. Yeah,
but I ultimately went with Dopey.
Well, that too. Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Dopey or Goofy. I think. Why Donald? Do you think he's irresponsible?
Well, because Donald is just he's kind of just a sad sack. Like anything that if something good happens to him, it gets taken away almost constantly, and he can never catch a break. Donald.
Okay.
He can never catch a break. Even when he gets a good break, it turns into a bad break.
Fair enough. That makes sense. I like that. Definitely better choice than Merida. Sorry. Once I get on the Merida train, I can't let it go.
Know, right?
I will get emails.
Let me make sure I don't have her anywhere else on my list.
People love her, so I will get messages saying, quit hating on Merida. I'm sorry. Can't love them all. And so let's see, the cutest couple that never was, which first of all, I can't believe was really in a yearbook. I feel like this is a dangerous one to put in a yearbook.
I didn't know where to go with that one. That was kind of an odd thing. So I just wound up making a couple that I thought might work, but didn't.
Okay. Who's that?
I put Red and Jack. Red from Pirates and Jack Sparrow.
Oh, well, isn't there rumor of that actually might be a storyline in future films?
They're casting. I've heard. Karen Gillan is potentially cast as a female lead for a Pirates reboot. She can only. That's Red, obviously, right? I mean.
Okay, and who knows? Maybe her and Jack Sparrow have a thing. So you might be onto something.
Maybe.
You may have heard it here first, folks. I like that. No, that was a solid choice. Mine is a little lamer, but I think also funny. R2-D2 and C-3PO. Come on. They are totally a couple.
They totally are.
Don't you think? I mean,
yes.
I could see those two walking down the aisle and, tying the knot. It could happen.
It's funny. Well, I'll mention that when we go to the next comment or the next superlative. But it reminds me.
Did you choose them as best bromance?
The couple that I have for the bromance.
Oh, okay.
It's like R2 and C-3PO in a way.
Okay, well, let's go to best bromance then. Who do you have for best bromance?
Woody and Buzz.
Woody and Buzz. Ooh, solid. That is a solid choice. Yeah, there's definitely bromance happening with them. And I'm gonna just read the names, and you tell me if you even know who I'm talking about.
Oh God, I can't wait.
Mr. Smythe and Mr. Jones.
Oh yeah, from the Princess Fantasy Fair.
Exactly, the Fantasy Fair Theater. Yeah. Come on, bromance.
They're the best part of the show, man. I love those guys.
Yeah, they are great.
Yeah,
and totally bromantic, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, yeah.
I could see that happen. And you know what, R2, D2, and C-3PO, they could also be bromantic, I would say. So, what was yours again? Who did you say?
Woody and Buzz.
Oh, Woody and Buzz. That's right. Yeah, those are all solid. I love it. Best bromance.
Yeah.
We got some Disney bromances happening. I love it. Is there a thing, like, guys have a bromance? What do two girls have? Is there a term for that? And if there's not, I think that's unfair.
No, there isn't one that I can think of.
Oh, somebody needs to make that up. And if somebody younger and hipper knows the answer to that, if there is such a thing, let me know, because I'm curious. Okay, now this one, most talented, which, not to brag or anything, I was voted this in high school, most talented.
Oh, right on. That's cool.
I was got this superlative and done most for the school, my senior year of high school. So, who at the Disneyland Resort do you think should get most talented?
Well, like you were saying earlier, it would be a shame to leave Mickey off the list, and so that's where he landed on my list, was most talented.
And you know what? That is a good choice for Mickey, because he can do everything. He can play the drums.
He's in every movie, everything. He's whatever it is, he's doing it.
He's a great actor. He's a great dancer. He can sing. He's a great drummer. I mean, he can shoot pyro out of his fingertips during Fantasmic. He
plays a mean harmonica.
Where does he play a harmonica?
In the Christmas, Once Upon a Christmas
Time in Florida
shorts.
Oh
no, the movie.
Yes. I know what you're talking about. One of the Christmas specials on TV.
The one where he trades his harmonica so he can buy her a hair thing.
That's right.
I forget what it is. But,
yes, the gift of the Magi type of story.
The gift of the Magi. There you go.
Excellent. Okay, Mickey Mouse. I can see that, most talented. I gave this to, instead of an individual, it's a group, which I guess is a little bit of cheating, but I'm going with the Disneyland Band. I
do love them. I do love them.
I love them. And they are so talented. I mean, they're phenomenal musicians, great drum corps moves. I love them. They're my absolute favorites. I will say the Dapper Dans, I feel like, could be a close second.
That's who I thought you were going with when you started that. I thought you were going to say Dapper Dans.
I tricked ya. No, the Disneyland Band. I love them. They're enormously talented in my mind, and I hope they're around forever. Oh, I love them so much. So those were our people/character superlatives. So now let's get into some ride or show superlatives here. And we'll just start with best all around. Who would you give that to?
Well, I have been on record for many years saying that and I describe it as the best all around ride. It's Big Thunder. I think Big Thunder is the best combination of thrills and theming. It's the best all around ride.
Okay, I would say it falls when it comes to storytelling, but I get it. It's a classic for sure. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Yeah. And all right, I went with Indiana Jones Adventure, Temple of the Forbidden Eye.
You know what? You could just list Tony Baxter attractions and I'll nod in agreement with you.
Fair enough. I mean,
right?
Indiana Jones, to me, it amazes me. What are we coming up on? Is it 25 years?
It was 25
this year. It was 25 years.
Just a few months ago.
That's mind-blowing to me. And listen, there are a ton of attractions that have been in Disneyland for a long time. Haunted Mansion and Pirates and Big Thunder. Classic attractions that are timeless. But it's weird to me because Indiana Jones, like, I remember when it opened, and it hasn't really changed all that much in there, and it still holds up so well.
Yep.
So
It does. It holds up.
I would say best all around ride at the Disneyland Resort. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So if you had to pick an attraction or show that is the life of the party, who would you go with?
Paint the Night.
Paint the Nights.
Yeah.
Fantastic choice. I didn't even think of that. Shame on me. That
I mean, when do you ever feel better than when you're watching Paint the Night? Never.
seriously, like that is a parade that it saddens me that it's like sitting in a warehouse somewhere and nobody's, not only because of the insane times, but like because it's not scheduled to be anywhere. I'm like, as long as that parade exists, it should be shown somewhere.
Yeah.
It
is a shame. It is a shame. They've created such a great piece of art and we can't watch it.
Yeah, now, tell me this. Did you have, I might be insane for this, but did you have a difference of opinion on that parade when it was in Disneyland Park versus Disney California Adventure?
Everything's better at Disneyland, Jeff.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's partially true. But actually, I will disagree with that. I thought the Pixar Play Parade was better at DCA.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right because it does, I mean, it is more fitting there. I when I did see it at Disneyland,
It felt
seemed
weird.
out of place.
It felt out
weird. Yeah,
it felt weird.
But no, I mean, just seeing Paint the Night go down Main Street, nothing's better than that, man.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think it's Main Street is what makes the difference. And maybe if we could get parades down Buena Vista Street, it would be a little better, but you can't. There's a low bridge.
No,
and
not with that bridge.
Yeah, and also there's no place for it to go backstage or anything. But
That's true. There's no place for it to wind up.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know what it was. Like, I love Paint the Night. I will always love Paint the Night no matter where it is. It could drive down my street right now in Burbank and I'd be like, hell yes. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But when it was in DCA, I didn't feel like when I was in Disneyland and if it was going by, I'm like, I'm stopping for a minute. I got to stop and watch some Paint the Night. When I was at DCA, I was like, it's all right. You know, it's all right. I don't have to stop this time.
No, I definitely would have stopped at DCA. I love Paint the Night. It's
great. I love the
amazing.
music. I mean, talk about life of the party. The music in that parade.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Disneyland's killing it with music and parades lately. Paint the Night and Magic Happens, two of the best parade soundtracks. It's up there with like Spectro Magic in my mind.
Yep.
Absolutely love it. Cool. Oh, I didn't even say my life of the party yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's yours?
My life of the party is Splash Mountain. It kind of has
interesting.
Like I feel like it has a good range of like there's the fun. There's a lot of fun in there.
Yeah.
It's a little bit ominous. There's a big thrill with the drop at the end. I feel like it's a fun one, and it's also one that honestly, like I've been on most rides at Disneyland a couple billion times. Splash Mountain's not one of them because I don't like being soaked most of the day. So I will like only really ride it if it's extraordinarily hot out or if I'm like staying down at the resort or something.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't ride it that often. So when I do, it kind of feels like the life of the party. So
Yeah.
that was my life of the party. Oh, most changed. Who would you go with here?
I don't know if this is technically correct or not, but I went with Pirates.
I would, that I thought about that. I thought about that as well, and you're right. It has changed a lot since the beginning.
So many changes.
For sure. I mean, let's talk about it. There's the scene where the women are being chased is very, very, very different because political correctness. And then there is Jack Sparrow being added along with Barbossa. And then there's the whole red scene being changed. I mean, plus effects being changed through the years. It's a solid choice.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as solid as mine, though.
Okay.
So I'm getting very competitive here, and that's not normally like me, but I'm just having
Payback for Merida. Here it comes.
Yes, there we go. I would just have to say Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. I mean, it literally all together
Oh my God!
changed
Yeah, well, yeah.
when it was once Tower of Terror.
You know, it's funny. I almost went with the Incredicoaster for that same reason because it's a complete reskin. But obviously, Tower and Guardians is more obvious.
Yeah, but I didn't even think of Incredicoaster. That would have been a good one as well. So let's talk about those three. Have they been? When you say most changed, you hope that they're changing in a positive direction. What would you say with Pirates? Has it changed in a positive direction or no?
For me, it's still Pirates no matter what. So I can't say it's either really. I'm indifferent in terms of, I'll say this. I think the dialogue for Red is atrocious.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You know what?
I'll say that.
You know what just makes me laugh about all of that, the political corrections that happened to that attraction through the years is I'm like, you know what? When I'm at the bottom of that hill climb at waiting for my boat to start rising at the end of the attraction,
Yeah.
I'm still having a gun pointed at me every time I'm there, like legitimately pointed right at me. And I'm like, of all the PC stuff we could fix, we're still having guns pointed at us in this attraction. That blows my mind.
I don't, the political parts of it, I don't really, nothing of that drives me insane one way or the other, but I just feel like they could have done a better job.
It was an impossible task, I feel like. There were some classic lines that, Paul Frees character said that are no longer part of the attraction. And so trying to mimic that or pay homage to it in some way, shape, or form, you're always going to fall flat, I feel like. So,
Flat it fell.
What was that?
I said flat it fell.
Yes. What's a pen for a hen or something like that?
10 for a hen.
10 for
yes.
a hen. I was like, what? No.
Everyone in egg layer.
No.
I just want to know, Jeff, if a pirate wants a chicken, he takes the chicken, okay?
He's not negotiating.
He doesn't go to auction.
That's what I want. I want to see the chicken being grabbed by the neck and just like hanging there in his hand. Yeah, there we go. He's taking what he wants. He just wants it. He takes it. What about Incredicoaster, though? Do you think that was a positive change or a negative change?
I guess positive. They did the best they could. If they're trying to create an experience out of a plain roller coaster where there wasn't one, without completely rebuilding it and just trying to put a skin on it, they did the best they could.
Did they?
I know. Mine's not a popular opinion. I get it.
I think they went the cheap route. But the thing I miss most about California Screamin', honestly, is the soundtrack. I really liked the music on that attraction quite a bit.
Yeah, that was very, that a lot of people love that music.
Yeah, it's great music. So you just get on the freeway, go really fast, and put on that music. And then finally, what do you think Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout? Good change or bad change?
Again, I think that's a net positive for me. There's plus and minuses for both, but in the end, I think I do prefer Galaxy.
Yeah, I think they did a great job with Galaxy's,
especially the Halloween
Guardians. Yeah, Monsters After Dark. Yeah,
Monsters After Dark is fantastic.
I want a Christmas version. Come on, no, you know what? What was one of the most fascinating things about that to me, and I didn't even think about it until I was watching the Imagineering story on Disney Plus, and Joe Rohde talked about it. He was like, "This attraction does one thing." It drops, or it lifts and it drops. That's it. And he goes, so it was originally made to induce fear. He goes, we had to figure out how to make it fun. And he tells the story about, well, think of a baby. When you throw a baby up in the air, it doesn't scream from fear. It gets that funny tickle in its belly and it laughs and it giggles. Yeah. And it's like, wow, that was genius. That was just like a stroke of genius to, really create the attraction to do that. I love it. So, yeah, I do think that they did a good job with that. If we were talking about the Florida version being taken over, I would disagree. The Florida Tower of Terror is brilliant, but, considering what we had here, I would say it wins. All right, let's move on to the most unforgettable rider show.
This was a hard one for me because I guess I appreciate almost everything at Disneyland equally in a sense, but I went with Splash Mountain.
Oh, all right.
Because of the drop. Because of the drop and the splash, that it's something that kind of it stays with you, like you were talking about, because you either the fear of the drop or being wet for a couple hours.
Yeah, it's a solid choice. I went with Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance, which is kind of a gimme these days, but
yeah, right.
it is pretty unforgettable once you've done it. Like even if you nitpick it, which I have, it's an unforgettable attraction from beginning to end, I would say. I assume you agree, or did you have different opinions?
Oh, I love Rise, yes.
Yeah.
Rise is definitely right up there for me. It's best rides ever.
Yeah, it has a few jaw-dropping moments. And, folks, if you're listening, I say this having done an entire episode talking about it, but if you haven't experienced it yet, avoid spoilers is what I will say. I went with a friend who, we did it and he was like, oh, it was great. I really enjoyed it. He goes, but I don't know. It just didn't like impress me as much as I wished it had. I was like, well, you screwed up twice. You watched videos on YouTube before you came, and then you had your phone out taking photos during the ride the whole time. I'm like, on your first ride through, how about you just experience it for the first time? How about that? But in any case.
No, that does help.
Yeah, it definitely helps. Let's move on to most unique. What did you award that one to?
Well, I gave this one to the Matterhorn because it does not exist anywhere else in any other park.
Well, that is the definition of unique. I like that. Do you like that ride? I'm not crazy about it.
Love the Matterhorn.
Do you? Okay. Does it hurt you?
A little bit, but I mean,
but it's worth the
whatever.
hurt.
That's I don't care.
Okay, cool, fair enough.
Yeah,
I went with Fantasmic because this is just the most unique nighttime spectacular I've ever seen. I still think it holds up as probably the best nighttime spectacular Disney's ever done. I
can't argue with that.
Love it. I mean, I prefer the original over this new 2.0 version, as I've gone in depth talking about, but it's still super, super, super unique. And it's the thing that bothers me a little bit about it is it becoming less unique through the years because like those water screen projection things are being used kind of everywhere. So it's taking a bit of the uniqueness away from what originally used it, which is a bummer, but it's still super unique. It mixes a lot of different mediums and has a solid story and a great score. And I give it to Fantasmic. I loved it.
Yeah.
All right, so the most accident prone. Once again, I love the fact that this is a real superlative in a yearbook. Most accident prone.
This might be the one we agree on, I think. I have a feeling.
Maybe.
But I went with Indiana Jones.
Yes, you're right. We agree on
There you see? I knew it.
Indiana Jones Adventure. We both went with that because it's broken down a lot, and therefore,
all the time.
Accidents are happening.
Getting disappointed by Indiana Jones is a rite of passage for Disneyland fans.
Yeah, it is really funny because, these days with the whole getting the boarding passes for Rise of the Resistance and stuff, it's gonna break down at some point, and it's so well, this has to end at some point. At some point, it just needs to run. I'm like, 25 years.
Look at Indiana Jones, dude. They have still not figured it out.
I'm thinking at least a few times a day, right? Like that's just the norm. The difference is Indiana Jones comes back up within half hour or so usually, but it's Indiana Jones.
No, I can't tell you how many times we made the choice of getting a fast pass instead of walking on when it was open. But we said, you know what, let's get a fast pass. We'll come back to Indy later.
Yeah.
And then when you come back, it's down. You're like, oh.
Yeah. It's such a great ride, too. All right. Our final superlative here is the most likely to brighten up your day.
The most highly concentrated magic of any attraction in the park. 90 seconds of bliss. Peter Pan's Flight.
Wow, I like that. Tell me this. I enjoy that ride, but I don't do it super often because I am not willing to wait in that insane line. So do you get to do it often? Is it like, the brightens your day enough to deal with that line or no?
Very often we kind of have an agenda when we go, so it doesn't necessarily fit into that whole, the timing has to be right. We don't do it, I don't think I've ever done it in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
it's either early in the morning or late at night, and that's pretty much it. We're doing Peter Pan first, and that's it. That's the only way we tend to do it. But it'll make you happy. Peter Pan makes me happy every single time.
Yeah, I think I may have cheated on this one once again because I made the rules, yet I'm breaking them all apparently. But I did say, ride or show for these superlatives. And I consider this a show, even though I consider it a person as well, apparently. The Disneyland Band brightens my
that works, sure.
day. Like, to an insane level. I could follow them around all day at Disneyland and do just that and be fine. Like, love them. So
love the Disneyland Band.
Love the Disneyland Band. Have you ever marched down Main Street with them during their? I think it's around noon. They do the one with the characters.
Every chance I get. If I'm in the park,
you're my kind of guy.
At the right time in the right place, I'll do it.
I like that. You're my kind of guy. I love it. I love it. So those were the superlatives we had, and I'd say we did a very good job. Other than the Merida error, I'd say things were pretty good there. But with that, I think we have to get to some trivia.
you know the answer? Get your brain gears churning and play along. It's trivia time.
Alrighty, do you want to hit me with the trivia question first, or shall I hit you?
I'll go ahead. Which attraction in the history of the park is the shortest lived attraction?
Ooh, the shortest lived attraction at Disneyland Park. Oh, I feel like I should know this. I keep wanting to say those flying saucers in Tomorrowland, but I don't think those were the shortest, were they?
They're up there. They're on the list.
Okay, was it the boats?
Yes.
The boats, okay.
The Tomorrowland boats, the Phantom boats in the Nemo Lagoon.
Okay. Yeah, how long were those, do you know how long they ran for?
All in for less than a year.
Ugh. That's...
They were around just for a very short period, and they took them out, and then they brought them back again a little bit later in the year, and then they took them out again.
How long did the flying tires last? Over Luigi's flying tires?
Luigi's?
Like two years?
Lasted a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple, maybe 3 years.
I would say in like modern times, that was one of the shortest lived.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
Superstar Limo was very short.
Yes. Yes, we're going back 20 years now with that one. That's crazy. Or 19. Crazy. All right, cool. I like it. So for you, I want to know, of course, we're talking about graduation and everything. When was the first Disneyland grad night? And do you know what made it unique, other than it being a grad night?
I have to say, they probably did those very early on, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was even in the 50s. But I don't know the exact year, but I would guess probably late 50s, early 60s.
It was 1964.
Wow,
which surprised me a little bit, because that means it was going on during Walt's lifetime, which I wouldn't have really expected. And do you know what might have made this unique?
64. I couldn't say. I couldn't guess. I'm trying to think of what happened in that era, but
this thing that they did was it was a first for Disneyland.
How about an all-day pass, no tickets?
No, they stayed open all night long.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking about maybe something like that too, but I wasn't sure if they were already doing that.
Yeah, so it was like an overnight thing for them. So in 1964, that must have been exciting.
Like overnight?
Yeah, I think it was like a 24-hour day event sort of thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's what I was reading. That's what it sounded like. And
that's very cool.
At Walt Disney World, it was there pretty much since the beginning. It started in 1972, which would make sense because, of course, it opened in October of 71. So they wouldn't have had a grad night until 1972. So it was there from very, very early on. And, it's a big tradition these days, and still is.
Yes,
still huge. So
still is, yeah.
Well, David, thank you so much for coming on the show to play some superlatives with me, Disneyland superlatives.
You're welcome.
Why don't you remind the folks what you do, where they can find you, and perhaps what you're doing during your quote unquote free time, or what you would normally be doing in the parks?
Well, we are Fresh Baked. We're on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel where I want to say we go to the park and film our adventures in the park, but I can't really say that these days because we haven't been to the park in 2 months or almost 3 months now. But we produce Disney-facing, Disneyland-focused videos on Fresh Baked. Lately, we're just doing news and stuff like that. But our bread and butter is doing reports from the park, what's new, what's happening, and how much fun we're having.
What was the last? Do you remember what the last thing was that you reported on in the parks?
The very last thing we did was reporting on the beef bao at the Tropical Hideaway and the peanut butter and jelly shake at Maurice's Treats.
Whoa! Wait a second. They have a PB&J shake at Maurice's Treats now?
Oh, they call it a smoothie, but yeah.
Oh my gosh! One of my favorite things from Walt Disney World. Really?
It's weird.
Oh, one of my favorite things ever at Walt Disney World is in the 50s Primetime Cafe at Disney's Hollywood Studios. They have a peanut butter and jelly milkshake, and I love it. Have you ever had that there?
I haven't been to Disney World in 30 years.
Okay. I was going to say, I wonder if it's similar. Oh, man. Now I really need to get back to Disneyland. I hope that's there. I hope that's there when we get back. You know what I loved was the PB&J eclairs that they had during one of the Main Street Electrical Parade returns, and then I think during Pixar Fest as well. Those are so good. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I didn't know about that. Now I'm feeling like I missed out. Very sad.
Well, it was brand new right before it was like a week before they closed up.
Okay, so I didn't I wasn't I just okay. I wasn't out of the know for too long.
Not too much FOMO there.
Okay, all right. Well, David, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was a bunch of fun.
You're welcome.
For all of you graduating seniors out there, congratulations. I know it's a weird time, but that shouldn't take away from the fact that you've accomplished something wonderful. You worked hard and hopefully learned a lot of life lessons along the way. It may be disappointing that you can't celebrate the way we normally do in this country, but one thing that you're hopefully seeing is that this entire nation is celebrating you and your achievements. Congratulations. Now, of course, folks, if you haven't listened yet to this past Wednesday's episode of Disney Coast to Coast, be sure to check it out as we celebrate Kermit the Frog's 65th birthday and the anniversary of Muppet Vision 3D with a Muppet-filled episode. And on this upcoming Wednesday's episode, tune in to get advice from Disney travel agents. And to those of you who have been leaving those 5-star ratings for Disney Coast to Coast on Apple Podcasts, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Unfortunately, if you don't leave a written review, I can't see your username to give you a shout out. So go ahead and head to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star rating and a written review to get a shout out on the show. Another way you can get your shout out is by joining any level of the DCTC community over at patreon.com/DisneyCTC. Head on over there and find out what sorts of rewards are waiting for you. Once again, that's patreon.com/DIZNEYCTC. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePauli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.